It's going. Hey, 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 friends! We are live on this Tuesday. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tamika, and I teach stay-at-home moms how to win in life one healthy habit at a time. And I'm here with Megan, who is about to go to the gym. Right, Megan?
Speaking of that, yeah, I'm Megan Gerke, for those of you that don't know who I am. And I teach busy, overwhelmed moms how to build healthy habits as well, just how to figure those out when you already don't know how to add anything more to your day.
I love it. We're all busy. It's all crazy. And we just take it one step at a time.
Yes. It's like one of my favorite hashtags is baby steps. If you've ever watched the movie What About Bob?
Oh, it's been so long since I saw that.
But his whole thing was baby steps, baby. And it's literally like, just get yourself out of the office, then get yourself to the elevator.
Yeah, and you're definitely living through that because you were just saying like you had to do this in the car because you need otherwise it cuts into your time. You find excuses not to do it. So taking those little baby steps, those little action steps to set you up for success is huge.
Absolutely.
All right, so you guys, we are coming to you live to talk about something that is kind of like different, I would say, and it never like I mean, we're going to talk about core values, okay? And I think that we all have values. I think we all have standards, and things that we believe, principles. And but I don't think that I ever really defined them until last year. Like I never put a name to it, and I never like had these values that I like made public to live by. And so I know that's a big reason why me and you got connected when back in June of last year, so almost a year ago, because of the values that I set for myself. So as you guys are watching, make sure to tell us where you're watching from. Tell us if you're here live. I see that we've got some live viewers right now, or if you're watching the replay. And what values are important to you? So how should we start this? Where do you want to start?
Honestly, I want to go over, let's go and talk about, like you said, when you and I talked and I was like, we were not connected in our last business. I just knew of you. And so I had this tug in my heart to reach out to you total blindly. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked and I was like, it's nerve-wracking to change. And I told you this the other day, when we sat on the phone and you went over your core values, it was like, that's why I came here with you, because that is what I felt was very important. And I feel like when you know those things, and you said this, that I was like, yep, I'm in. Like that was it. It wasn't necessarily the products, even though I love the products. It wasn't necessarily the actual business, even though it's amazing. That was the deal for me, because that's why I left where I was. You need to have those things that feel you here and that you stand for. And so I really want to just kind of like, let's just, you and I talk about those.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been saying this basically since I started in this network marketing profession. I want to make an impact while making an income. Like, and what does an impact mean? An impact means like I want to leave people better than I found them. I want to like make the world a better place. Like I want to just like be positive. I just want to leave a trail of positivity everywhere I go.
It's so true. My dad used to always say about anything, you leave it same as or better as, which I'm going to take it a step further, like you said, better than you found it. And it's just one of those things where, we think about impact and we think, oh, it has to be like how to, learn how to rock, all these major things. It's like impacts are just like we said, baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Small little impact is what can grow into something huge. Like you don't even sometimes realize that you have been impacted by something or someone until all of a sudden you look back, you're like, oh, that was kind of a pivotal moment.
Right.
I share like this whole like vision of, speaking of climbing a mountain, you're climbing the mountain and you get to the top or you get farther above, and you turn around, you see the people that are maybe struggling to climb it a little bit. I keep getting notifications. And you turn around and you lend a hand.
Right.
You don't take what you have and keep it to yourself. You take what you've learned, how to get there, whatever it is that you're talking about, whether it's, a degree, a job, just being a mom, whatever, because all levels of success and how you can help people are different for everybody. But
Mhm.
it's that visual of like lending a hand to somebody else.
Yeah, and like you get stronger because of the things that you go through, and then exactly you turn around and you help somebody else up. So I really wanted to define impact. Like, what does that mean? And that's kind of where these core values came from. And like I said, I just sat down and like defined them. And because I'm a teacher, because I love like things to just like correlate to each other, I took IMPACT and I broke it down as far as what that means in business, in life, with the people I want to attract, who I want to be around, and all that. So I in impact stands for integrity. Integrity is everything to me, which is a big reason why we both left our last company, is because we felt like things were no longer integritous. Like, we didn't feel comfortable that we could onboard a new teammate and actually help them make money. We didn't feel comfortable onboarding new customers because the products were changing, the ingredients were changing, the prices, the quantities, all those things. Like, we just didn't feel aligned anymore. And in unfortunately, and I was talking to Stacy, our upline, about this yesterday. Unfortunately, in this network marketing industry, there are some really shady people, some really crappy leaders, some people that do things for their own benefit and not the benefit of others, and not in their best interest. And so I like, my number one core value is integrity. I will never sell you something that I don't believe in. I will never tell you something that's in my best interest. I'll always tell you what's in your best interest, so that way you can make a decision. I'm going to be honest in all of my dealings as much as possible. And, we're all human. And if I do make a mistake, I'll always own up to it and apologize. But like, integrity is so important to me. Integrity in the company that I'm with, integrity in the products that I'm promoting, integrity with the people that I'm working with. Like, I could talk about that forever.
Well, and I feel like integrity is one of those things, like that's one of those things, as long as you live by that, when your head hits the pillow at night, you sleep well. At least for me, like I have a conscience, like if I tell even a little white lie, it eats at me for weeks. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm human. I say things that, but yeah, like you said, I need to be 100% upfront honest with people. Like, so, and at the end of the day, whether people believe that about you or not, if you're being, then that's all that matters, and some people, and I know you said it's kind of, there's some shady, in the network marketing, but really it's just in life. I mean,
Right. That's true.
walk around with walls up, they're immediately think you're out to, do something to negatively impact them. Or it's like, there are people, the problem is all of that stuff gets clouds over all the good, and the people that are out there trying to live, from their hearts, you forget to focus on those things. So, I mean, you have to really, and that's why it is important when you feel a tug, like, you know what, this doesn't sit well with me anymore with my values. It's time to move forward, whether it be a job, people, sometimes it's even family.
Right.
I mean, you can love them with boundaries.
Yep. So y'all drop the word integrity. That's what I stands for when we talk about making an impact. Shifting gears to M. Now, like I said, I've been doing this industry for 8 years. Prior to this, I was a high school math teacher. Megan was a hairstylist. And M stands for master. Okay. Not to say that we'll ever, reach the end of our learning, but it is so important to become a master of your learning, and always growing and being willing to try new things. So, when I was going to school to be a math teacher, and then, once I became a math teacher, I would need to learn different ways to teach things, and different ways to communicate with the kids, and different ways to be organized, like always learning and growing. And so one of my core values is that I am committed to personal growth. Every single morning I wake up and I listen or read some kind of personal development, whether it's to help me become a better business owner, a better mom, a better wife, a better leader, a better teacher. I mean, I always want to better myself. And that's a core value that I have, is that, if I'm not growing, then I'm going backwards. And I want to continue taking those baby steps forward. I think that's like our underlining trend, is like baby steps forward, through our growth.
Like, well, and here's the thing, like personal development or personal, whatever. I didn't even know what that was. And it's funny because I talk to people all the time and like, do you do anything for personal development, personal growth? And they're like, what is that? That was me. I didn't even know what that meant. you're kind of just going through life, and you just don't realize like you need it's a constant process. Same thing. I started hair. When you go to beauty school, they teach you basic haircuts, okay? Basic color application. Well, once you get into the real world and you have a job, then you kind of build off those. You go more intricate cuts, different ways to apply color, how to do different things, different updos, whatever. And so it's the same thing. And it's like once you master that, once you get good at that, okay, what's the next thing? Here's the other thing. If not for anything, personal growth is going to keep you excited and in life, because you're going to be always like learning, instead of just, how many times, have we been in this monotonous of like going through the motions in life, not really doing anything to, and in every, like 80, maybe even 90% of anything you want to accomplish in life is going to start here. So no matter what goal you're doing, if you're not feeding this and growing this, you're going to
go anywhere. Yep.
Going back to one of my favorite things, it's not motivation you need, it's discipline, like we all do.
Yep. I love it. All right, you guys, drop the word master. Okay. That's I-M, master. Now P is very important to me. P stands for people. I want to treat people like people. When I first started in this industry, and even when I first started teaching math, I had a mission to accomplish. I had to raise test scores. I had to hit these ranks. And so I would go through the numbers because they told me it was a numbers game. I would go through the assignments. I'd go through the problems. I'd go through the lessons. I'd go through, the friends list. And I would just like mass message people, not even like looking at their page, not even caring about what they were doing. And that didn't feel good. Okay. And we all we all learn from our mistakes, right? Like, I mean, we only can grow unless if we're willing to make mistakes and feel how maybe things feel to us. When people would message me, I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good. And I probably made other people feel that way too. And so P is people. I want to treat people like people, regardless of a sale. And there's so many times in this business where, people can't afford it or it's not the right time. And like we said, we want to leave them better than what we found them. And so, having different resources and tools that we can still plug people into to help them start their health journey, to help them start their mindset journey, to help them start their self-love journey is incredible. And it goes back to leaving people better than what we found them and treating them like people, not like numbers.
Absolutely. Well, it's one of those things. I mean, I feel like I'm all about talking about movies, but I can't remember what the movie was with Haley Joel Osment. It's Pay It Forward. You know what I'm saying? Like if everybody just made those real connections and did something kind, regardless of what it was going to give back to you, like the sale or joining their team, or I'm going to do this for you, so hopefully you'll owe me a favor. It's like if you just treat people out of the kindness of your heart, that is that's that domino effect. If everybody did a little that more, there's that domino effect, and all of a sudden, the good comes out. And just being a good person to others without expecting things in return. And you know what? There is a return because it makes you a better person, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't seen that movie, Pay It Forward, so maybe I need to watch it. You're like name dropping all these movies today, so I'm like, all right, take notes.
Obviously, there are movies that made an impact on me. Like, it is a great movie, and it's such a simple concept. Literally, if everyone did one nice thing for somebody, literally, like open a door. You guys open a door for somebody. We'll in the lane on the freeway and let somebody in instead of trying to go faster and cut them off. It's all these little tiny things. If we did more of those, our world would be a totally different place.
Right. All right, let's shift into A. So I is integrity, M is master, P is people, A is action. Okay. Like we need to take action. That is a core value that I have. When I have a thought, when I have an idea, when I know I need to do something, I got to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move and make it happen. I can't just sit here and talk about it. I got to put in the work for what I want. And we were talking about this right before, we got started is, we have people that join our business and don't do anything, or they take action for a week or two and they're like, oh, it didn't work. Like I've been taking action for 8 years, 4 months, 6 days, I've been taking action without a single day off, and each day looks differently, but like there has never been a day where I haven't taken action in my business. There hasn't been a day where I haven't taken action in my life. And I know that, with depression and, sometimes our moods, we don't want to do the things, but I do them regardless of my thoughts, my feelings, my mood. I take action every single day. And that's a core value that I have. I'm not one of these people that are going to sit in my stink. I'm going to make my life that I want to have happen.
Right. Well, I always say, like for me, it's like you can pray and pray and pray, which you should. I'm a very strong believer in pray, but God blesses all of our hands the same as long as you move your feet. You can't sit and pray for a cake, but when God's giving you all the ingredients to bake the cake and you're not baking the cake, that's on you. Like it's the same thing. Like and it really applies to everything in life. If you're not happy, and you see it all the time, if you're not happy where you're at, move. You're not a tree.
Right.
But you're not, and it doesn't mean that things are going to change overnight, but little baby steps make the change. I struggle with anxiety. I actually get it a lot because of a condition I have. And there are days when I'm struggle a little more, and I just know the tools. It doesn't get me out of it immediately. It might take me a couple days, but I know the action steps I need to take, so I don't stay stuck in that, that feeling, like I don't want to feel that way.
Right. And I can't see who it is. It just says Facebook user. So you have to make sure that you grant StreamYard access if you're watching this in the Get Fit Club. So that way we can see your name. But fear stops people from taking action. And I was watching this show. I think it was on Hulu. It's called The Parent Test. And they were it's like just like a challenge TV show, whatever. And one of the challenges was that they had to have their kid jump off the high dive. And like whether the kid jumped off the high diving board or not, it didn't matter. What mattered is like how they communicated. But anyway, so when this kid, Megan, you're frozen. I might be frozen. Maybe it's me. I don't know. But they had, their kid walk up to the top, and like fear would freeze them that they wouldn't want to even like jump. And what causes the fear, I feel like, is overthinking, thinking about all the things that could go wrong. And so if ever you're feeling like you need to do something and take action and you can't because of the fear, stop thinking about it. Just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and do what you need to do. Or think about all of the things that are going to go right when you do it. It must have been Megan's, because now she is gone. But yeah, like fear can stop you, or it doesn't have to. And that's just by you taking action. And I feel like most of the time when we take action, it grows our confidence. When we complete something, or if we take action and we're like, oh man, that was pretty crappy, like I really failed, then we learn from it and then we can do it better next time. But it takes the fear out of it. And I just think that the devil wants you to be afraid because he doesn't want to see your true greatness. He doesn't want to let that light shine. And so that's why you get the fear. That's why you get the doubt, is because that's of the devil. And he's trying to stop you from becoming the person God wants you to be. So taking action is the antidote for fear, just doing it anyway, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So, that is A. Okay. A is for action. If you haven't dropped that, I see that some of you guys are awesome. Drop that in the comments. Now, C. Okay. So we're spelling the word impact. Like, what does make an impact while making income mean? And these are my core values. And C is choose. Okay. So drop choose. We get to make choices every day, and we get to choose to, work a business with integrity. We get to choose to continue growing. We get to choose to take action. We get to choose to treat people like people. And we get to choose to look for the good in situations. So, going back to good versus bad, right? Like you get to choose to look for the growth that can happen when you fail forward. You can choose to look for a good in situations, choose to learn the lesson that you need to. And some people are like, oh, well, this bad thing happened, so I quit, or this didn't go right, so I'm just not going to do it anymore. Or I didn't make the money that I wanted, so I'm quitting, or whatever. And like, we get to choose our outcome ultimately. For those of you who follow me, that my legs like just stop working out of nowhere, and I can choose to be grumpy about it. I can choose to have a bad attitude. I can choose to sit on the couch and eat potato chips all day long, or I can choose to be grateful for when the days when my legs do work. I can choose to be grateful that I get to work from home and that I'm not in the classroom on crutches, like I used to have to do. And so, and I even am wearing this shirt right now. I get to choose to be happy. Like, it's that simple.
Sorry, living in Arizona, apparently the sunshine, even though it's not that strong, overheated my phone. So,
oh my goodness, I hope it's okay.
I had to put it in front of the air conditioner to get it to go.
Oh,
but
geez.
You're so right. I deal with chronic health issues, and something that will never go away. And the same thing, every now and then I get in these like where I'm like, why? But I don't choose to focus on that. I choose to what can I do to support it?
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm kind of hopping in here, but that's so perfect. Like, you feel what you focus on. You get to.
And I feel like you're given your hardships for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't grow through what you go through and you don't turn around and lift somebody else up because of what you've experienced, then you're going to go through it again and again and again.
And that's where that whole impact, that whole climbing the mountain, it's like there's purpose from your pain. And I fully believe that.
Yep.
Fully believe.
Okay, so shifting gears to our last one, the word impact. Okay, T. Any guesses what T stands for? Drop in the comments really, really fast. T. These are my core values, things that I live my life by, and I just want to get it out there and make it public. So T stands for true. Being true to yourself. We live in a world where everything is now public. You can see everybody's highlight reel. You know what's going on in everybody's lives. And sometimes, we get envious or jealous, or we want to be like somebody else. And God made you for a reason, and staying true to yourself, your values, your things that you believe in, your personality, your God-given talents, like being true to yourself is so important to me.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, seriously, I mean, share some hearts or something, but I mean, who doesn't get into the comparison game? And I don't care, some people more than others. Like, I have to say, for the first time in my life, I'm pretty good at not, but it took me a long time, a lot of personal growth to get there. And also to know what I want out of life, like what my goals are. That's how I know how to stay true to myself, and how I want to accomplish them. So, I mean, and at the end of the day, it's kind of like, again, integrity. If you're true to yourself and who you are, when your head hits that pillow, you sleep a lot better at night. And staying true to your core values. I mean, it all ties together.
Yep. And if you don't, you're going to find yourself down the road not liking who you are. And also, I feel like one thing that I always pride myself on is, like, with the world that we live in right now and social marketing like we do, we don't get to meet people face to face all the time. So it's a lot of like Zoom kind of, like Zoom calls, StreamYard, Facebook Lives. Like, this is our connection. But I've always prided myself on, like, the person that you see on the screen is the same person that you're going to meet when you see me. Like, I want to be true to myself all of the time, whether I'm a business leader, a friend, a mom, a wife. Like, what you see is what you get. And I feel like that builds trust with people as well, because I mean, like you said, we didn't even know each other this time last year. We got connected in June. You decided to join me in my business. We become really close. And, when was it? In November of last year, where like I got to come down to Arizona and we got to meet for the first time. And it was just like, it was like we had known each other forever, because we are the people that we portray to be online.
Right. Oh, I say all the time to my team, I'm like, so, especially when they're just getting started, I'm like, be yourself. Because, I'm like, now that because a lot of people that come into my business, I met through social media. I'm like, now that you know me as a person and that we're actually physically having conversations, am I not the same person? Like, that's who I am, like, it is what it is. I mean, obviously you learn more about each other, but it's like, I'm that person.
Right.
In front of the camera and not in front of the camera. Like, it's just the same.
And that's why we're here, like, with no makeup on. Like, it just
tried to put a little on. You just can't tell. Not a lot.
But, just being our true selves, we're not using like crazy filters online. There's nothing worse than when you run into somebody at the grocery store and they're like, oh, hey, so and so. And you have no idea who they are because like their profile pictures from 10 years ago, or they use a filter, or, like they're trying to hide behind something. And I just feel like being true to yourself and like loving who you are is so powerful.
Oh, I'm always a hot mess. And honestly, at first I'm like, gosh, maybe I should do more with myself. But I'm like, here's the thing. Like, I don't get dressed up a lot. I don't put a ton of makeup on. I don't do my hair a ton. I mean, I was saying, like, when I moved to Arizona, I started with people's expectations low because I had to meet new people. So I started with no makeup, not my hair done. Like, here you go. So then when I do finally do my hair and makeup, it's like, surprise. But it is. It's like, I'm like, no, but this is who I am. This is who I
Yeah.
am.
And I think that the other thing to kind of shift gears just a little bit is like staying true to your talents and your gifts. With the other company that we were with, I tried to be everything for everyone. And so when I came over here, I said, I'm an organized person. I like lists. I like agendas. I like itineraries. And I'm just gonna like let that green flag fly that this is who I am. And I like my first instinct isn't the yellow hat where it's like caring and like friendship, like I'm like down to business. You guys who know me, like I'm direct. I'm like, let's just get down to business. And so to feel comfortable that I can be true to myself, you can be true to yourself, other people can be true to exactly who they are, and knowing that if everybody comes to the table as themselves, we're going to be the most powerful team that ever existed because we can stay in our own strengths.
That's exactly it. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I actually love having friends that are opposite of me because I'm like, oh my gosh, you can feel, help me. Like, I'm not organized. I'm not good at making lists and checking them off. But I do know I need those things in my life, especially because the more I've been here with you, I'm embracing that. I used to be like, oh, I just don't do those things. I don't need those things. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm just not strong in that area. And so to embrace friends that offer a different perspective from you is nice, and I mean, and I love that you've let me be who I am. Sorry, someone's walking by kind of awkwardly. Um, um, let me do my thing instead of, when I was with my last company, I felt like it was like, this is what you need to do. I'm like this, and I'm like, but I was trying to have a voice when I really wasn't having a voice. You know what I'm saying? And I feel very strongly in how I want to build a business and doing it with integrity and being genuine. Long story short, you said green. I'm a yellow personality. So there's a color personality test if you guys have never taken it. My kids were taking it one time. Like, so what's the best personality? I'm like, there is no best personality. It's to know who you are and to be able to learn how to embrace that. One, it helps with communication. Like, when you and I know how we receive information better, it's easier to communicate. Same thing with spouse, a child, whatever. It's just knowing your strengths and weaknesses.
Right. And accepting it and choosing to continue to grow, but also choosing to let you be you, and okay with that. So you guys, these are our core values. When we say make an impact while making an income, hopefully that makes a bigger impression on you, that we aren't just saying these things, we're actually living by it. And those are the people that we want to surround ourselves with. And if you struggle with any of these, concepts, or if there's rooms that there's places that you want to grow or improve, reach out to us. We've obviously, been able to grow a lot in the last few years. And like we talked about, we want to turn around. We want to help other people be able to become their best selves and truly be able to impact others in a positive way.
Well, and I just want to leave it with this, like who you're seeing today between you and I, like if I went back 5 years ago, I mean, I don't recognize, and I'm not just talking about physical, like how I look, but who I've grown into and who I'm growing into, like, and the same thing, I'm sure you can say the same thing for yourself, like that, you don't just wake up and all of a sudden you're like, you have all these epiphanies. It's all these little baby steps and growing and doing these things that it's who you grow into be. So I don't recognize the person I was when I look back, and I'm proud of that more than the weight loss. That's for sure.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We love doing these. Be sure that you follow us both. Check out our links in our bios. We both offer different resources and help. Megan is great with like gut health and mindset and all of the things. And I'm a list maker. So if you need me to make you a list, just go ahead and reach out. But all right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.